All right, I think I fixed it. I have been having the shittiest luck with StreamYard. The shittiest luck, y'all. But anyway, I want to come here and talk to you about the Coeur d'Alene firefighter investigation and what may have not been shared with the media. Can you hear me now, Lindsay? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hopefully you can hear me now. StreamYard, the service that I was using that I actually paid to use, is crashing in the past couple of weeks that I've been doing my streams on. It's horrible. I come over here, I'm using YouTube to stream now, and now it's perfect, excellent quality. So I think it's StreamYard itself. So I'm going to be writing them and letting them know, look, I paid, I don't even know how much it was. It's expensive. It's like per month. I paid $44 to get like the all the cool features and I can't even use it. Like what the heck? Y'all are going to have to give me something. I need to figure out why it isn't working. But I'm here to talk about the Coeur d'Alene firefighter ambush investigation, the Coeur d'Alene firefighter shooting situation. Okay, and to talk about how I'm also here to talk about how we prioritize politics over tragedy. Okay, it seems as if we prioritize politics over tragedy in certain situations. Okay, both, all kinds of people do it. All kinds of people do it. But let's go ahead and I want to share the this article from CNN. And the article is basically going to be a brief overview of what happened, what we're going to be talking about today. Let me grab the article. Oops. I have two monitors, and I'm still working like a person with one monitor. It's crazy. Okay. So, I'm going to read this article. Lindsay, can you hear me okay? Coeur d'Alene. Sound is good. Coeur d'Alene. Okay, got it. Got it. Um, I'm streaming to this, but I don't know where I have it pulled up at. It's crazy. Here it is. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Okay. Can we get this out of the way, please? I don't like all these advertisements. Okay, maybe that's better for us. Okay, so what we know about Wess Roley, the 20-year-old suspect in the Idaho fire shooting, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, the man who police believed unalived two Idaho firefighters responding to a brush fire after starting the flames himself had wanted to pursue a career in fire service, his grandfather told CNN. Wess Roley was identified by law enforcement official as a suspect in the Sunday shooting in Coeur d'Alene. Two firefighters were unalived and a third was injured. Roley, who was found unalived at the scene and appears to have shot himself, set the brush ablaze with a flint fire starter. Roley's grandfather, Dale Roley, told CNN his 20-year-old grandson from a came from a family of arborists and had been working in tree service industry while trying to find out his career path. Police say Wesley opened fire on the first responder has been found. He wanted to be a fireman. He was doing tree work and he wanted to be a fireman in the forest. Dale Roley doing it. Wess Roley shotgun and a long rifle, his grandfather said. Investigators are confident a shotgun was used in the Sunday attack, but have stopped short of ruling out additional firearms. Dale Roley said he typically with his grandson on a weekly basis, but they hadn't spoken in the last month because Wess Roley had lost his phone. He said the suspect had loving family and friends and he vacationed on Hawaii with his mother last year, according to social media posts. A film appeared Wess Roley was living out of his vehicle, which remains on the scene and has no inventory. It wasn't like he was a loner, Dale Rowley told CNN. We had no reason to suspect that he would be involved with something like this. He said he was holding out hope that his grandson wasn't actually the shooter. Rowley previously lived in California, Arizona, and Idaho. Authorities said a running website said that he ran track at a high school in Arizona and was a member of 2024. Two former Arizona classmates of Rowley's painted a picture of a struggling student who occasionally lashed out in anger. He could be friendly at times, they said, but was seclusive from his peers. A third former classmate described Rowley as sometimes verbally aggressive, but echoed that he had the means to be friendly and fun. He would make us laugh so hard, the classmate said. They would play with airsoft guns and video games, but sometimes it was difficult to play with him. You would take him in doses. Court documents show that Rowley had a tumultuous family life growing up. His mother filed for divorce in September 2015 when her son was 10 years old and wrote in court documents that her husband had threatened her, pushed her to the ground, and punched several holes in the walls. He threatened to sit outside my house or burn my house down. A judge protective order banning Rowley's father from having contact with his wife or son, but later amended the order to remove the son after his father wrote in a court filing that I am not a danger to my son or anyone else, and his wife did not tell the truth. Ooh, excuse me, in her statement. The divorce was granted in November 2015, and Rowley's mother was designated as his primary parent. Rowley's stepfather described in the statement confusion and heartbreak among his family members who are still struggling to grapple with Sunday's tragedy. We do not understand why this happened or how this came about. The statement released by Tony Cucchiera's attorney. Our hearts and spirits are broken for the lost and the hurting and for our own loss as well. Okay. The suspect himself has no criminal history. How law enforcement in Kootenai County, Idaho, had minor interactions with him 5 times. He has relatives near Coeur d'Alene, but it is unclear what he was doing in that area at the time of the shooting. We knew that he lived there for the better part of 2024, but as far as when he got there, why he was there, and why he chose this place, I don't know. Okay. So there's a little bit more here. TJ Franks, a former roommate of Rowley's, told CNN he was freaking out really bad when he found out that Rowley was involved in the shooting. Franks and Rowley met through the tree service industry and lived together in an apartment in Sandpoint, Idaho, for about 6 months until Rowley moved out in January. Franks told King Rowley left the apartment after making threatening gestures to a security camera, which led to a 911 threatening gestures. My whole family met him. It was just scary because I don't know, he could have flipped at any time. Frank said the two never had a conversation that may have hinted at a motive. I never thought we would see something like this happen, especially with someone we know. It's really heartbreaking and scary. Rowley's father told a CNN reporter out of their home in Priest River, Idaho, that he wasn't close with his son since him and a family gathering last year. And he hadn't seen him, since a family gathering last year. He didn't respond to follow up phone calls about the decade old allegations in the court documents. The suspect's mother also didn't answer phone calls Monday morning. Okay, so from what I read here, we're talking about a 20-year-old man that seems like he's been moving around a lot. He's been moving around a lot, maybe in 3 places or something like that. He ends up in Idaho. He wants to be a firefighter. He's in the tree industry. And all of a sudden, he stages a fire and guns down firefighters, right? And shortly after this happened, okay, because I'm always in the news cycle, there's so much news, right? Shortly after this happened, I went on to X. I don't know. I go on to X to kind of see what people's opinions are. And it seemed as if people were trying to like paint a narrative one way or another, one way or another, or whatever. They were trying to paint a narrative, okay? And the narrative was, was he, what political party did he belong to? Okay. Now, mind you, this is a tragedy. And the question of this whole live would be, why do we turn tragedies, okay? Why do we turn tragedies into political talking points? Why do we turn tragedies into political talking points? I don't understand it. I never will understand it. Okay. I'm going to change the title. Okay. So there was this huge thing out about how okay, so some people said, he supports this person, he supports the president, blah, 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 blah. There are some people saying, no, he has to be opposing of like, it was just so disgusting. What I saw on social media was just so disgusting. Like minutes after hearing the story, it was just terrible. And these people are people with tons of followers. These people are people who are in government, and they're just making all of these blanket accusations. And they don't even know, at this point, they didn't even know who he was yet. They didn't even know who he was yet they're making blanket accusations about like the motive, why the person did this. It couldn't have been this person, it had to have been this person. I don't like that, and I don't appreciate it at all. Okay. So I was scrolling upon an article today, and I found an article where they're saying that Wes may have been attracted to some right wing ideals or something like that. I know I just said, oh, everybody's making it about politics, but we have to look at these things when we're talking about motive or like what drove a person there. Okay. It seems like every tragedy that happens in the country, somebody's pointing the finger at somebody else for it happening. And it's strictly upon party lines. And it's sad that we've gotten to a point where um I was going to do a video on this, but I feel like it's better suited for a live. But it's sad that we've gotten to a point where we're so desensitized to tragedy that our first thing to do is deflect and throw blame. Okay. The incident with the Texas flooding, the same situation occurred there. Okay. Same situation occurred there. It happens on both sides. Um, I mean, I am biased. I'm not going to say I'm not biased. I'm not going to say I'm not into politics, but I feel like people are so desensitized and people are looking for a reason to attack other people. So we use tragedy to do that. And I don't think it's the best way to do that. Okay. We use these bad things happening in order to get our political agenda across. We use these bad things happening in order to get the story across. Okay. What happened in Texas, the same ideal. Okay. So I just read an article about this young guy, 20-year-old guy that did something horrible and unspeakable. And people were coming to find out that he was raised in like a MAGA household, things of that nature. Um, and they were posting that and pushing that agenda. Um, and I mean, while I am biased, while I do think that certain rhetoric can be hateful and lead to certain behavior, I feel like in the wake of tragedy isn't the right moment to just come out full force with it. And both sides do it, right? All right. If you guys are here with me, make sure to hit that like button. So he wanted to be a firefighter and he took down firefighters. Why is that? Why is that? Okay. I haven't gotten anything from CNN, but I will pull up another article that I found today. This is from USA Today, and I found an article, and they talk about where the hell am I? Oh my gosh, am I still with you guys? Are you guys still with me? Oh yeah, you are. I found an article, right? And they're talking about. We're gonna watch the video in a second. Okay. I found an article. In this article, they say that this suspect of this horrible, terrible incident in Idaho was sketching swastikas, debating politics, and edgy jokes. Idaho shooter, not typical loner. Okay. There are no easy answers for why Wess Roley gunned down firefighters. Okay. What is known, his friends say, that he was a fierce conservative fixated on guns, but he wasn't a loner growing up. Okay. So before all this information came out, you go to X, you go to different places, they're trying to pin it on Democrats, leftists, however you want to put it. And all the while, his parents are the biggest Trump supporters, and he was a fierce conservative. Okay. I think accountability has a lot to do with why people can't accept tragedy because they don't want to accept accountability, that their words, their actions may be a motivating factor for someone to go off the rails, right? So let's watch this video really quick. A recap of the story, right? There's a recap of the story for everyone. But what's important, and I think what we should be looking at, can't miss it again, is another one. Tragedy that's being politicized. Okay. And while I'll say I am biased, okay, um, certain tragedies are being politicized, but we only want to complain when the tragedies aren't being politicized against us, right? So if you see a tragedy that people kind of attack Democrats for, Democrats come out and say things like, this is a tragedy. Why are you saying these things? And then you see a story like the Wess Roley story. We find out his parents are MAGA and all these things, and people criticize that. And then it's just like this endless game of fucking ping pong. Okay, everybody points the finger, but I mean, what do you say in that? Okay, so here we go. Wess Roley. Let's talk about this kid's background, okay? And what would have been influencing this kid, okay? Now, I just said I'm biased, okay? So I'll give you guys biased opinions. That's just what I'm gonna do, okay? So Wess Roley cultivated an image in middle and high school as an edgy, cool, and funny kid who was interested in military, constantly talking about politics, and wanted to join the military. Several former classmates told USA Today. But he also had a darker side. Okay. The young man accused of unaliving two firefighters in an attack in rural Idaho was obsessed with guns, the classmate said. He also had those, you see the word, tendencies. Roley's former classmates said he drew swastikas and pictures of guns in school books. He would say things from time to time that were just unhinged. We all thought he was messing around. Okay. Authorities continue to search for a motive in the unaliving of firefighters called to a wildfire June 29th on Canfil Mountain, just outside Coeur d'Alon. So far, there are no easy answers for why a 20-year-old son of a tree trimmer and archery enthusiast would suddenly turn on first responders. What is known, according to his friends, is Roley was a part of a close-knit circle growing up before he landed in Northwest Ohio, a region known for its embrace of independence, gun rights, and stalwart conservatism. I have no idea what that is. 5 former classmates told USA Today they didn't keep in touch with him, but they recounted what they knew of him growing up. Okay. This is someone making a memorial for the 2 lost firefighters. Okay. What turned an opinionated, gregarious teenager into an unaliver, they couldn't say. Okay. So they were sad, and they said that he did not fit the stereotype of other shooters. I would not say that he was a loner. We were all friends with him, and it was like a group of us, 10 of us. He was always hanging out with his guy friends. Just very involved in politics. Roley's childhood friends, some of whom attended multiple schools with him, said he was very political for his age and a Trump supporter. Not unusual at the time in Phoenix, where 48% voted for him in 2016. He was very hardcore Trump, just very involved in politics. He was always very defensive, getting into it with people, which we thought was kind of weird because we were 14 or 15 years old. Roley's old friends all said he was also obsessed with guns. She thought all the talk from him about guns was just part of his conservative ideology. How at 14? Let me stop here, okay? How at 14 do you develop a full-fledged conservative ideology? How do you form any type of ideology at 14 years old? I mean, you know right from wrong, but how do you form a full-fledged conservative ideology at 14 years old? Because your parents have full-fledged conservative ideologies. And we know this. We know this because they're posted up in front of the White House with their MAGA hats on. Is that a crime? No. But I fear what they were instilling in a 14, 15-year-old boy was nothing pleasant. It was nothing loving or accepting, okay? When we see the current rhetoric by the administration, when we see that hateful, push them out type of rhetoric, and as a result, you have teenagers, you have young kids, you have all these people becoming emboldened, politically emboldened at a young age. And I feel like politics isn't a thing, some things that kids should have to worry about. But it seems like he was trained this way from when he was a young kid. Politics aren't things kids should have to worry about, and that could add additional stress, anxiety, and depression on them. So growing up with this fierce, hardened ideology for years and years and years, and never being reprimanded for it, could probably cause some issues down the line. Okay. That's my statement. That's my opinion. I don't know. The West we knew, they say, was very interested in joining the army. Like, I thought his love for weapons was coming from the fact he wanted to be a law officer of some sort. Former classmates said he came to school one day with a buzz cut and said he wanted to join the ROTC. I wanted to join ROTC too. Like, when my school didn't offer it, but I definitely wanted to be a part of that. They said Rowley's apparent fascination with Nazism was primarily a front, a way to stand out to get attention. They keep using this word edgy, okay? When I think about edgy and I think about high school, I think about uh we used to call them, I feel like we used to call them emo or something. We used to call them emo. They had like or scene or something like that. That's what I um get when people say edgy. Okay? Edgy, like ripped jeans and black fingernail polish, like edgy, right? Um People called him out for it. It's not like people turned a blind eye. People were like, "Bro, cool it. What's wrong with you?" Um, they called him out, and he would laugh it off. Okay, these are flags flying half staff. A day after two firefighters were unalived. Okay, that's when Roley moved to Idaho, where his father ran a tree trimming service. It was an area with an inauspicious history. For decades, the white supremacist organization Aryan Nations was headquartered there until 2000, when a lawsuit by the Southern Poverty Law Center bankrupted the group. Although the group's compound was razed, the locals are still trying to shake the stigma. Okay? And I also looked it up. Okay? I also looked it up. I had to look it up. Okay? The population of Coeur d'Alene. Okay? When we're talking about Coeur d'Alene, I don't get the word right, but make sure you like that stream. When we're talking about this place, ladies and gentlemen, it's one of the, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Another reputable source said it's one of the whitest cities in America. Okay? So I didn't have to do much digging to kind of understand what was going on. Okay? While Coeur d'Alene, a city of over 57,000, has grown over the years and is also home to progressive residents, it sits in a conservative part of the state long associated with anti-government groups. In 2022, 31 members of a white nationalist group were arrested in the city and charged with conspiring to riot against a pride event. Although many were from other states, it didn't help efforts to distance the city from its past. This is not who we are as a community. And when you hear how others portray the people who live here on the news, it's not true. What happened here decades ago is not reflective of the fine people that live here today. Okay. A few miles away, in 24 years to the days after the remnants of the Aryan Nations compound were destroyed in a controlled burn, firefighters were called to put out a grass fire. Hey, that's interesting. That's interesting. Wait, did we just discover something? Did we just discover something, or do people already know this? They say a few miles away in 24 years to the day After the remnants of the Aryan Nations compound were destroyed in a controlled burn, firefighters were called to put out a grass fire. So this is an anniversary of a white supremacist compound being destroyed. 24-year anniversary. 24-year anniversary of a white supremacist compound being destroyed. And a fire starts. Okay? And then and then examining the blaze, when the firefighters came, they were scrambling to call for help as bullets flew at them. This was a total ambush. Okay? And the haunting question is why? Okay? He attempted to enlist in the U.S. Army. He was deemed ineligible each time, but the Army declined to specify what disqualified him. Okay? And as we know, the Army declines people for a variety of physical and mental health disqualifiers. So he tried to get into the Army. The Army said no. I heard a rumor that he was trying to become a firefighter. The firefighters said absolutely no. And then 24 days, I'm sorry, back up. And so 24 years to the day, that this compound was destroyed, this is when this happened. There may be a tie there. There may be a tie with the reason why he was disqualified from the Army. I don't know if they can get that information. Reach out to the Army and ask why couldn't he join the Army. That may have something to do with his mindset, or it could be a physical thing. But the thing that I find shocking from this USA Today article is that it was an anniversary of something. Okay? He had 5 run-ins with law enforcement that were very, very minor in nature. He cooperated. Trespassing. He lived in his car. They said they do not understand why this happened or how it came about. He had his own apartment. He was doing good, but in recent months, he had become kind of a loner. And his family is shaken up. Coeur d'Alene. Got it. So when we talk about situations like this, what I find most damaging about situations like this, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to jet out, but I think that the moral that I want to make here, okay, is that, how do I put this, okay? Because my political videos do well, okay? They get viewed a lot, but they get downvoted a lot. People don't like when you have an opinion that differs from theirs, which I guess I understand. Children are taught to hate. Children are taught to hate. Children don't come out of the womb white nationalists. Okay? That's no way that could possibly happen. Okay? They're taught these things. Why, the motive of why he did it, I may have a small idea, but I don't have much basis or fact in that. But the reason why he had such strong views, the reason why he was drawing swastikas on his notebooks was because of what his parents allegedly put in his head. So, why can't we let kids be kids? Why do we have to politicize them? I don't like it when I hear kids talking about politics, okay? I don't like that because kids don't talk about politics the way they used to, okay? When I was in high school, I had friends that were had all different types of political views, okay? All different. And that couldn't happen with a kid in high school today. And I don't understand why that is. The division is so deep that kids are going to school and disliking people because of what they heard their parents say. And that's true on both sides. Okay? I hate to get political on this Monday morning, but your kids are going to school and telling other kids things they hear you say. And I think in most cases, it's not a fatal situation, right? Most cases, it's not a fatal situation. Someone just gets their feelings hurt. But when we allow kids to get obsessed with hate and division at a young age, we can have issues as an adult in the most respectful way possible. Okay. Now I'm going to look up these firefighters. Okay. And I'm going to say their names on my stream because I think that is important too. Oh, wait. These are just firefighters. That's not them. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So we have. Who is this? Do they have the pictures of them? Hold on. I'm going to try to find their pictures. I don't know if that's them because it doesn't say. I don't want to say that's him and then that's not them. I don't want to do that. That's not cool. I don't know if they released pictures or not of the actual firefighters. Okay. I don't know if they did. I didn't look at that. But did they release their names? Oh, that is him. Okay, so Frank Harwood, 42, and the fire department battalion chief, John Morrison, 28 years and 17 years. These are like career firefighters. So this is them here. Right? And you have to think about when these situations happen, we seem to be so desensitized to them, to tragedy. because every day is a headline. Okay. But you have to kind of like put yourself in a position that these people's families are in. And then tell me if you would make the same comment. Would you make the same comment if you were in the same boat as these people and their families? I have to think about that too, because I feel like people tend to play the blame game. We cannot do that. We cannot continue to do that. When with tragedy arising, we cannot continue to do that. We can play politics. We can politic all day long. We can talk about who we don't like and why we do not like him. Okay? But is that a pass in the wake of tragedy to talk about people? It's not. And I feel like until you're in that situation, you can't truly grasp how that feels, right? Right? But I've been talking about this. We've been live for about 45 minutes. I just want to come live, show my face. Lindsay, thank you so much for coming and commenting. People in the comments said they wanted to see me talk about this or on the poll. I'm also going to be posting a video tonight. I'm about to finish up editing it for y'all and post the shorts and post everything. I'm so excited. We're going to be talking about the Diddy verdict. I think that one got the second most votes. And it seems as if, it seems as if more people on YouTube are wanting to see that. Like a lot of people on YouTube want to see like what's going on with the Diddy situation. The verdict has come out. Diddy has been convicted of 2 charges, but found not guilty on the other 4, if that makes sense. No, it was 5. So 3 he was found not guilty on, and 2 he was found guilty on. And I break that down. I give you guys definitions. I give you my unfiltered opinion, and I think we're going to enjoy that. While I'm here, just for the people who catch the replay, I want to give you guys a tour of the channel. Hold on, y'all. Oh, not that tour. Just ignore all that. Not that tour. I don't want you guys to see my good stuff. No, I'm just kidding. Let's view my channel. Let's look at my channel real quick. Okay. So here we are. And I want to talk to you about what my channel has to offer, why you should subscribe to Lindsay Unfiltered right now without delay. Okay. So I have comprehensive videos, okay, about true crime, scandal, controversy, all of these things going on right now. Current things going on right now, okay? We covered the story about Lips's husband. We covered the story about Sherry Papini. We covered the story about Travis Decker, okay? We covered the story about Darian Randall. All of these stories are real, true crime cases, okay? We covered the case of Sana. I think that was Sana Yusuf. I'm going in, I'm changing thumbnails, I'm trying to get into SEO and things of that nature. We have stars of our channel. The stars of our channel would probably be Lips and the coverage of the tragic events that unfolded in his case, and Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Okay, Gypsy Rose Blanchard is a huge one, right? Gypsy Rose Blanchard is a huge one, and apparently some emails came out. I need to be making a call ASAP. Cause what, girl? What? Oh yeah, we're gonna be seeing that. We're gonna be reading that when emails and factual evidence and shit comes to the forefront. We're reading that. Okay. So I also have tons of videos, something for everyone in these comprehensive videos. Oops, it's time to restart. Nope, wait an hour. Okay. We have shorts. Tons of shorts, okay? We talk about current events, a couple of political ones in there, and you just get my point of view. Okay. I have live streams. Live streams just like this one, okay, where we talk about protests and Marines and all these things going on in our country today, okay? I have playlists. Like I said, Lips and Gypsy Rose are the stars. That's where the juiciest videos the public has decided come from there. There's a lot of other things you could look at in my playlist posts. I post polls. I post new video drops. Make sure you hit that notification bell, okay? The membership. I have some people in the membership. I have like one members only video. It was when I was on vacation. So, and then my little store, which this is just a store. It's a store, it's a store, it's a store. Okay. So if you're into that, please join the family. I have an Instagram. I have a TikTok. Well, the TikTok actually, I don't know if TikTok is staying around because they said that TikTok was going to be sold. My TikTok is currently it's currently down. Okay, somebody hacked it and I haven't been able to get it back yet. But I have a Facebook, so if you guys can go over there and join my Facebook. If you look me up on Facebook, I'm Lindsay Unfiltered. So if you join me on Facebook, I basically post everything that I post here. It's more of shorts that I'm posting over on Facebook. No really long videos. I have a ton of good stuff on my Facebook, some personal posts. I've been growing all my platforms at the same time. And I've really enjoyed this journey. So I hope you guys enjoy the video later on tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you that subscribed to me, all 3,000. Listen to me, guys. 3,680 people. No, 40. I have 2,000 on Facebook. I have 1571 on TikTok, which I had to make a new page. So I only have 82 on that page, but hey, we're getting there. And I have like 466 on Instagram. So your girl is trying to challenge and deal with 4 different platforms at the same time. Okay. So I'm posting on all these at the same time. If you prefer one, I'm there. Okay. I also have a Discord. Yeah, it's going really, really good. I have I do YouTube full time for the most part. I do have other things that I do. When I talk about other things that I do, there's other things that I do, other things that I'm responsible for. But what else did I want to say? Thank you so much, Lindsay. Thank you. It means a lot. I just want to come on here and give everybody an update. And for a year and a couple months, I'm pretty damn proud of what I've done. Now it's time to find the next great topic, great video, connect with a lot of good people. I appreciate you guys. I truly do. I do. I appreciate each and every one of my subscribers. I do. And I hope you guys watch this through. Give me your opinions on the Wess Roley situation. Now, with Wess Roley, do you think his parents influenced his ideals? And when I say ideals, I mean the scary ones, the ones that had him drawing. I don't even know if you can say the swastika's word in his notebooks. Do you think they told him to hate other people or whatever the case may be? Do you think they watched Donald Trump while he was around and conversed politics with this boy when he was very young? Just tell me that. Just tell me that. I have an idea of a possible motive, but there's not enough for me to glue that together. Okay. Yeah, it's some type of influence. And I really don't like when kids talk about political issues. Okay. Kids should, I'm talking about like young kids. Okay. I'm not talking about like 13 and older, I guess. I guess you kind of have half of a brain. But like if you're like 10 years old, there's no reason you should be saying I hate this person or I hate that person. What do you know about that? You don't understand anything that's going on right now. You cannot vote. So I feel like if people kept those conversations away from their children can think for themselves. But I feel like people want to train their children to think just like they do. I mean, who wouldn't? It's just like religion. Okay, politics is becoming another religion for some people in terms of how they worship. Okay, and I'm gonna leave it on that note. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I'm going to go finish editing this video for you guys. This song going to be on Sean Diddy Combs and The Verdict. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye now.